Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Research Writing Fall 2019. This is the online section, as you all probably know, and I'm Patrick Nuttall, and I'll be your instructor this semester. So again, welcome. The online section of this course is a little chaotic. It's very fast-paced, but I have no doubt that all of you can kind of get through this. I've taught the online section of this course. This will be my fourth time, and I found that the students do very well. Although there are some people that do prefer the in-person class, especially because of the pacing. This course is a very quickly paced. I do find that most people take to the online course fairly well. So yes, welcome. In this video, I'm basically going to go over some basic stuff. I'm not really going to go over the syllabus too much because you guys have the opportunity to read that, but I'm just going to kind of go over some expectations, and I'm going to go over sort of what we can expect throughout the semester, and then talk about the first week. There's not really a ton to talk about in regards to the first week, not a lot of lessons to be going on, so you don't have to worry about much of a lecture in regards to the first week, but just want to go over a couple of things. Okay, so because this is an online course, you're expected to be able to use the internet and use computers and stuff. That's a part of, if you look at the syllabus, that's one of the requirements, the technological requirements, is that you can handle sort of this level of technology. So I'm not going to focus on that too much, but I just want everyone to make sure that you're comfortable with using the internet and using Moodle, especially because that's what everything's going to be done with. All of the assignments will be turned into via Moodle. All of the everything will be uploaded. Everything will be on here. The schedule will be here. The syllabus, the document, is going to be pretty much accurate, but if there are any changes, they will be on the Moodle page. So keep that in mind. Also, in regards to communications, all communications will take place via email, so make sure to check your email at least once a day. If there are any notifications or changes, that's where they'll come through. Also, in regards to communication, feel free to email me at any time. The people that succeed the most in this course are the students who are comfortable getting a hold of me if they have questions. Of course, not everybody's going to have a lot of questions. You might find that you're not emailing me, or that you don't have a lot of questions. For some people, you might have done a lot more research in the past than other people, and that's okay. Don't feel like if you don't have a lot of questions that something is wrong with your experience with this class. But I have found that there are a lot of questions to be had in this course, and if you have them, email me, and I will try to get to you as soon as possible. I do work a second job, so sort of normal work day, 9 to 5. Especially on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are a little rough, but I will definitely get to you as soon as I can, usually within 3 or 4 hours. And seriously, if you have any questions, whether it's about specific things in the course, questions about the assignments, questions about any of the topics, get a hold of me as soon as possible. Continuing with sort of communications, you can also get a hold of our library liaison, Joseph. He can really help us out. He is at the library if you need somebody to make contact with, because this is an online course, you won't be meeting with me at all. But if you do need to meet with somebody, you can get a hold of Joe, and oftentimes you can meet with him on campus in the library. He's also a fantastic researcher. He's very good. He's helped me with this course for years now. Although I've only been teaching the online course for a little bit, I've been teaching this class in general for years, and he's always been there, and he's fantastic. So if you need to meet with somebody that can help you hands-on, get a hold of Joe, and he can definitely help you with that. Also, when it comes to resources that you can kind of use to help you with this course, feel free to go to the Writing Center as well. They're located in the Academic Success Center on the second floor of the library. You should set up an appointment. I don't know if they do drop-ins, but even if they do, it's still a good idea to get a hold of them. But they can help you at any point in this entire process, whether it's brainstorming, whether you're working on your outline, whether it's annotated bib. If you need somebody to sit down with you and help you on the specific assignment, they're amazing. They're fantastic. They're all people that have taken this course before or know about the course. So you're really going to have a lot of help. Okay, so that's sort of the communication and support structure of this class. Of course, you're also free to talk with each other. There is a student forums section that's specifically for all of you to talk to each other. I definitely can hop in and, but I probably will mostly be leaving that to you guys. I want you to have a space where you can communicate and not have to worry about me breathing over your shoulder. Of course, I will be here and communicating with you regularly, especially in the discussion forums. But as far as having your own space, the student forums are really for you. So keep that in mind. It's a nice place to kind of jump in there. The only problem I had in the past is, depending on the class, if people aren't participating, you might find that you're dropping a question and other people aren't answering, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so if you just want to chat with students, if you want to ask a couple questions before you come to me, that's okay. Feel free to come to me first, but I know some people are less comfortable going to a student first, so that's something you can do. Okay, so that's a lot of the basic stuff in regards to communications and support system. Go over the syllabus. It's expected that you do. It has the information about plagiarism, of course, plagiarism and academic, and any breach of academic integrity is not acceptable. So don't do that. It's unfortunate, but I usually have at least one or two cases every semester. I'm fairly good at catching them. So please just don't do that. It's for the best. If you get caught, it's not going to be fun for either of us. And yeah, so don't do that. Check the syllabus talking about the academic integrity rules. You can also look at the syllabus when it comes to course description, all that kind of stuff. Get into the syllabus and really kind of look it over. It's going to be the good place for you to touch base on sort of the basics of what this class is. The one section that a lot of you will be interested in is the course requirements, the breakdown of which sections sort of are weighted in which ways in regards to the grading. I'm not going to go over that too much because it's both on the Moodle page and it's also on the syllabus. But keep that in mind. You will notice that the engagement section is 10% of your grade, and that'll be your comments to other students on the discussion forums. That actually won't be graded until the end of the semester, but I will go through and I'll look at your comments and I will, basically rate them from 1 to 10. So you want to make sure that you do those comments. If you miss one or two, it probably isn't going to sink you. But it's really important that you engage with your students. That's one of the important things with an online course, is that you actually, it's really easy to kind of just sink back in and go in auto mode and not really engage in the way that is useful to learning. So that's really important. Okay, so that's a lot of the syllabus stuff. Hopefully that's not, hopefully I was able to explain it fairly directly. If you do have any questions about any of that basic stuff, let me know. It's completely possible that I haven't explained it particularly well. It's also completely possible you just need, that a written email might be helpful. I'm going to send the week 1 email as soon as I have this uploaded, and that'll go into some of it too. Okay. Oh, one other resource I do want to go over, because it's going to be extraordinarily important, is the research guide. So there are various points throughout the semester that I actually have a URL linked to the research guide, but under the library has a series of library guides for a ton of different classes. And for our class, Research 104, they've completely redone the research guide, just because we've completely redone the course. If you have taken this class in the past, for whatever reason, you'll notice that's completely different than it used to be. And one thing you'll notice if you go through the research guide, I have a link to it multiple places, but it's also at libguides.dbq.edu/res104. There's help at almost every step of the way for this course. There's stuff talking about the research process. There's stuff about writing the research question, finding sources. So of course we have the book. You'll have my lectures. You'll have a lot of separate resources, but the research guide is going to help you sort of reorient yourself, and it's a good supplement to everything else, but also it is a good place to start. So if you see that there's like 40 pages of reading in a night, and you really just don't think you're going to make it through that because you put it off, or it's been a rough week or whatever, oftentimes the research guide can do a lot of work to help you through that. So even if you can't read 40 pages, you can read through the research guide and then maybe skim through those pages and find the things that connect. So keep a look out on that research guide. It's going to be fantastic. There are places where I link to it in the specific resources for the week, but just keep an eye on it. Okay, so I want to talk just a little bit about sort of the format of the weeks, and then I'm going to go over just some basic stuff. So if you scroll down to August 26th through September 1st, this is basically what every week is going to look like. It's going to be front-loaded with the weekly video, which this will be uploaded pretty much as soon as I'm done. YouTube takes a couple minutes. And then it'll tell you the unit, if it's the beginning of the unit. This first unit is choosing a topic and planning the project. It'll tell you the readings right away. This week we're reading Chapter 1 and Chapter 3. There'll actually be a folder that has the PDFs for those 2 chapters. There won't be PDFs for any of the other chapters. This is just because a lot of you probably don't have your book yet. Because, it's pretty difficult to get your book the first week if you have ordered it from somewhere else. So, that's a kind of courtesy thing. You have the access to that. So after the reading, there'll be the assignments. There'll be a link. There'll usually be a link where you can click in the assignment section itself. This first week we have discussion forum initial questions and discussion forum exploring the social sciences. And then under that will be resources, and there'll be a link to the resources, chapter 1 and 3, and then the social science topic examples. And then underneath that sort of block of text will be all that stuff again, but like the Moodle links to it. So you'll see the discussion forum, both for initial questions, exploring the social sciences, etc. And that's basically what every week is going to look like. There might be a couple other little tidbits of information to kind of help clarify, but it's mostly going to be in that order: video, readings, assignments, and resources. And then with all the actual links underneath that. It's probably worth looking ahead. You don't really want to just think of this 1 week at a time. And the in-person course, because this is it takes place over 16 weeks, it goes, it's a pretty nice paced course. You don't really have to think as much about how it's going. But because this is an 8-week course, you really do want to know what's coming up ahead. Because, for instance, this week is, intro stuff. The discussion forum, the first one isn't graded even. And the second one is pretty simple. And then next week, we immediately have, well, not immediately, but next week on Sunday, we have, or next Sunday, that's September 8th, you have the research proposal due. So knowing what's ahead is probably helpful. You're going to be like, okay, so this first unit's only really 2 weeks, and that's going to be pretty average. And if you look at the third week, you're going to say, okay, annotated bib is going to be happening. That's good to know. It's good to see sort of what you have in store for you. If you like using calendars, this is hopefully very helpful for you. You can look ahead and be like, okay, I have the first 4 weeks kind of figured out. But even if you don't use calendars, if you're not a very organized person, that's okay. Just kind of try to keep at least, look at least a week forward, just so you know what's happening. You don't have to get stuff done early or anything, but it's just a good idea to kind of know, okay, this week we have the 2 discussion forums. Next week I have to do this research proposal. And you can click on that and see what it is. I'll talk about it in the video for the week, but yeah. So that's going to be something to think about. Okay, so that's the basic format of the weeks. I'm going to go over just this week really quick. So really you have the 2 readings, Chapter 1, Owning Your Research, and Chapter 3, Exploring Your Topic. You have the 2 forums, and then you have the resources. So the 2 discussion forums, you're usually going to have at least one, you're usually going to have 1 discussion forum a week, with the exception of, I think, week 4, where there won't be a discussion forum, because week 4 is kind of nuts. I think week 4 and the week of September 30th, there aren't discussion forums. But for the most part, 6 out of the 8 weeks are going to have discussion forums. They will be graded. As you can kind of tell in the course requirements unit, the discussion forums are worth 15% of your grade total, so they are very important. They're one of the ways that you can be interacting actively with not just your assignments, but with the course and with the students and with me. I'm going to be responding on your discussion forums, but also you're going to be responding to other students, and other students are going to be responding to you. So they're pretty important. They're not usually super crazy in depth. You'll see for this first week, we have the initial questions, and that has no grade. That's non-graded. It's just you're going to do it. And it's basic stuff like recall a research project you've done, how familiar with the library, briefly describe what you believe are the differences between accessing sources from the web and others. It's basically just to give me an idea of where you are as a researcher, and sort of where you are for the sort of journey forward. It also helps me know you a little bit, share one thing about you. It's a nice icebreaker. It's also going to be a nice icebreaker for the other students. And then, so again, a lot of the times these aren't going to be super crazy. The other one is exploring the social sciences. There's a lot of text there, but a lot of it is just sort of describing what the social sciences are, why they're important. The actual assignment itself is just find a specific topic that you find interesting in social sciences. I've created a page that will give you some ideas, and then just sort of write about it. Write out 4 or 5 sentences about what interests you and why, and then respond to other students. So especially for this first week, we want to start thinking about what our topic is going to be, because the topic we discover for this, for these first 2 weeks, that's going to be the topic throughout the entire semester. It's possible to do some changes, but especially in the 8-week course, you really need to have this figured out pretty quick. It's just sort of inevitable. We need to know what you're going to be writing about, because everything is going to be about one topic throughout. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at this first week. It's kind of the pattern of how it's going to look out throughout. It shouldn't be too difficult. The video's moving on. This is kind of a welcome, just a general thing. In the future, every week, I'll be doing like a mini intro to like what's going on this week, and then I will be going more in depth over the specific assignments, and I'll be going more in depth over just like what we're trying to learn that week. Usually they're going to be anywhere from 15 minutes to like 20 minutes. Every once in a while they go over that. But yeah, they're important to, they're a part of the required material. I know a lot of people don't watch them. I can see the stats on YouTube, so like it's kind of whatever. It's important you watch them, but I'm not gonna like hunt you down and force your eyeballs open like Clockwork Orange so you can like watch this video of me talking at you. But it is something that can be useful, and there will be information in these videos, even though I'll be doing a weekly email as well. More than one email probably every week, but definitely the weekly email that's going to have a lot of information. There's no guarantee that there's no guarantee that there's going to be overlap between the two. There's definitely stuff in here that I might say that is only in here. Although that will never be the case when it comes to changes. Changes will always go through the email. Okay, I think that's about all that I have to say right now. Of course, there's a ton of other stuff I could say, but I think that's a good place for the first day. Again, check out the syllabus, read through it before we go forward, especially the stuff about academic integrity, especially the stuff about the tech requirements. Get through all that, and I'll be around. Of course, if you have any questions, I'm going to send out the email. You're probably only going to hear like one weekly email from me, and then more if there is need be for more. But otherwise, this is kind of how it's going to look every week. And I'm really happy to have you guys. It's going to be a fantastic semester. Seriously, if you have any questions, no matter how simple, feel free to email me. And I look forward to it. Bye.